Good morning, kids. Today we're going to finish the lesson how scientists measured and understood light. From the previous two lessons, we started to understand what the word prism means and what refraction is. So a quick recap, a prism is this shape. It's made of glass, and when light goes through it, it bends. It doesn't. Now remember, we always talked that light normally always moves in a straight line, but here in the prism it bends and it breaks into all different colors of rainbows. Okay, so this is refraction and this is a prism. Now we want to learn how did scientists discover this. How did scientists explain rainbows? Aristotle, he's a Greek scientist who lived in the 4th century BCE. He thought that rainbows were caused by clouds reflecting sunlight at a certain angle. Now remember reflection? Reflection is when light falls on an object and reflects in the same angle. But no, he was wrong. 500 years later, Islamic scientist Ibn al-Haytham thought that rainbows were like a reflection in a mirror. The cloud was like the mirror, with the sunlight reflecting off the cloud. Also, the scientists thought that rainbows are caused by reflection. But after 950 years ago, Shen Ku from China suggested that the sunlight hits the rain to make rainbows. The English scientist Isaac Newton was the first to explain the rainbow accurately. Accurately means correctly. About 300 years ago, he showed the sunlight, also called white light, is made up of different colors. Our eyes don't see these colors separately. Okay, so the sunlight, this sunlight that we see every day, is made of all the colors mixed together. So white light, like this, is made of all the colors but mixed together. We don't see each one of them alone. When it passes through a prism, it bends, it breaks, and each color, we can see it alone. Newton used a prism to demonstrate that white light is a mix of colors. When sunlight passes through a prism, it bends. It doesn't move in a straight line. This is called refraction. So refraction is when sunlight passes through a prism and it bends. Now the angle of bending is different from the various colors of light. We have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. These are the colors of the rainbow. As you see it here, the white light, is walking. It enters the glass of the prism. It bends here, and it breaks, showing the different colors. Each one of them has a different angle. That's why we can see them separately. That's why we can see each one alone. Now in a rainbow, remember I asked you a question, how rainbows form? In a rainbow, every raindrop acts as a tiny prism. So when the sunlight shines through the raindrops and light is refracted, it gives us a rainbow. Okay? So next to this answer here, next to this, write how rainbows form. Okay? Now we'll answer these questions. We'll answer them together. The two scientists who thought that rainbows were caused by reflection. The answer is here. We have Aristotle and Ibn al-Haytham. I'll write it down here. You can use a sticky note to write the answers down, okay? What did Newton use to obtain new evidence about the rainbow's form? What did he do? He showed that sunlight breaks when it goes through a prism, he used a prism. What did he do? He used a prism. Now, what evidence did Newton collect that changed the idea about how rainbows form? He showed that sunlight is made of different colors. Okay? And now here we have what we have learned. That scientists have ideas that explain things, and they base their ideas on observations. Observations is things you watch, okay? And evidence from experiments they do. Experiments are things that we do, and we collect proof. Evidence means proof that shows us that what we learn is true or not. Ideas have changed about light over hundreds of years ago. Okay, but most importantly from this lesson, we learned what a prism is, what refraction is, and how rainbows form.